Whew. Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Wow. We are done with the draft. Surprisingly, I'm just going to give you my post-draft thoughts because I literally just finished the live stream. Shout out to everybody who came in and was part of our live stream, everybody who called in on the Zoom line, everybody who was there watching and spending the time with it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, you gave a super chat or a thumbs up or a like or a follow. I appreciate all of that great support. We had a great time, made some new friends and things, and actually got excited about what the team is doing. Here's the thing that's crazy. Leading up to the draft, we heard so many different things. The Cowboys were going to be trading up, that the Cowboys were desperate to trade up into the first round, you know, to get an impact player. And then, of course, the idea of there's a lot of value late in the draft and getting players that are, you know, late in the draft. And so then there was thought that the Cowboys might trade back and so on, or with the 4th, 5th round picks where the Cowboys haven't done very much, that they would go through and maybe turn around and package some of those up and try and move up a little bit further. But in the end, the Cowboys did none of that. The Cowboys went through, they trusted their draft board, they seem to have done all their homework. As much as they screwed up with the Amari Cooper trade, where it seemed like they were in such a hurry to get rid of him and probably lost draft capital because they did, not seeing what the market was becoming for wide receivers. It seems like the Cowboys did their homework, at least as far as the draft went. And as much as Stephen Jones said, and you know, Stephen Jones, I guess, is getting to be like Jerry-esque, where what he says doesn't really mean anything. It's just there to kind of piss you off, because that's what it does. Every time I hear Stephen Jones talk, I just kind of get pissed off. But what Stephen Jones kind of says is baffling you with bullshit, where you don't really know what they're trying to do. So from the standpoint of the team, they actually went out and they looked at every spot that they had a weakness and a need, and they made a decision on those places. 2 offensive linemen, I think 2 linebackers, although one linebacker has a spinal injury and probably won't be able to play this year, which makes you wonder why they didn't take a chance on Dean, but be that as it may. You saw a tight end, and I'm excited about the tight end. Tight end is a blocking tight end who can also catch. For me, I think that the Cowboys could do a lot more in 12 personnel, and I'll go into that more later on too as we break down each of these players. I love the nose tackle that we got. I think he has room to grow. I don't think he's going to be a day one starter, but you look, the hips the guy's got. He's got hips like crazy, that if he can match his upper body and the strength up there, he could end up getting that push in the middle like we've been looking for, because ultimately we got speed. We got speed on the defense, and we got aggression. I honestly believe that the Dallas Cowboys are now building a defense that we're going to look at for the next couple of years, with the picks that they have and the players that we have yet to even scratch the surface on, to be a defense that could be like the 90s. I know that Philly 500 and crew, they're all excited, of course, about getting Jordan Davis. And Philly, stop sending me pictures of Jordan Davis, man. You're going to jinx Jordan Davis being on that defense. I'm telling you. Okay, I'm telling you, Philly, you keep on, the football guys are going to come back at you, and he's going to be Derek Barnett number 2. And Dean, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. That ruptured, that torn pec muscle that he didn't get surgery on, those things don't heal by themselves. When you say torn, that means the tendon has pulled off the bone. It doesn't just reattach by itself. So that's something for you to worry about there too. But regardless of that, that's your thing. I'm not talking about you Eagles. You're not living rent-free up here. I'm talking about the Cowboys. When I start thinking about the guys that we have on the defensive front between the Neville Gallimores, the OC, the Goldston, the Dante Flowers, the Dorrance Armstrong, the DeMarcus Lawrence. Before you even start thinking about like Carlos Watkins and Terrell Basham, and throw in there Tristan Hill. There is a lot of guys that are going to be fighting for their football lives, and the guys that are there will be battle tested. And looking at that front, you've actually got, oh shit, I forgot about Ballimore. You got Ballimore in there. You're going to have a lot of guys that are going to be fighting it out to have a position on this roster, and will be battle tested by the time we get to the season, that should be able to do damage. And you look at this, none of these guys are old. We went from 2020 where we had, Gerald McCoys and Dontari Poes and Tyrone Crawfords and Sean Lees, and this being old. This defense is young. We're at the point of Van Der Esch is one of the older guys on this defense with DeMarcus Lawrence. This defense is young with a coach that definitely has influence for the Cowboys. And I feel like the Cowboys, more than Mike McCarthy, are looking to Dan Quinn being the favorable son that they're really listening to, because this defense, the fact that 2 years in a row the Dallas Cowboys have drafted an interior defensive lineman is something that they don't do. The fact that the Cowboys are looking at these players differently and getting the right kind of players that fit Dan Quinn says they're listening to Dan Quinn. And as much as we think that the Cowboys are tanking for Sean Payton, I don't think Sean Payton is going to be part of the equation. I think it's really, if Mike McCarthy has a hiccup, this is Dan Quinn's team. And to me, it's all about Dan Quinn and what Dan Quinn wants to have. And as I go through here, there's no guarantee on any of these players. And some of these guys are not going to be ready to be day one starters. The work now begins on signing some of these guys that didn't get drafted. The Cowboys have been good at getting undrafted rookie free agents and actually making them go and do things for you, between like the Terrence Steeles, the Tony Romos. So they're going to be right now, as soon as this draft finishes, they're going to be making calls and making visits and bringing guys in and signing contracts left and right to get them in before somebody else has a chance to do that. And then the Cowboys will have an opportunity, because teams have drafted players that may be in positions they didn't think that they were going to get, that some of the veterans that are more pricey are going to be let go. And this is the opportunity with the value shopping time that Stephen Jones covets so much, where the Cowboys currently have $15.8 million and get another $10 million next month from Lyle Collins, that they could go through and really try and polish off this roster and get a couple of guys that could be difference makers for it. So as bad as this offseason has been, we are at least in the golden time of the Dallas Cowboys, where they usually do a lot of good things as far as free agency goes, as far as the draft goes and building the roster. And we'll see if all of that works out. So I appreciate all of you guys, all the time that you spent with me. And now I'm going to go spend some time with my wife and show her how much I love her. I appreciate y'all. And make sure you tell somebody you love that you love them today. And make sure you do something that you enjoy today, because life's too short not to be in love with somebody and not to enjoy each of the days. Peace.